say, but 10 years ago, our nation was attacked, and it was a horrible day, and have all those images that are in your mind that you can't get out and never forget. And those are horrible things, and but one thing I remember that a lot of people don't ever talk about were the days right after 9/11, when there's no planes. A lot of businesses weren't working, and people were friendly to each other and hugging each other, and we had our flags out, and it was a really beautiful time. In the face of such evil, we rose above that, and that's because the foundation of this country is a Christian foundation. And from the very beginning, in 1776, we had to rise above and defeat what seemed like no way we could defeat Britain at the time. It was the powerhouse of the world, and we were just a few colonies we rose above. In 1836, we had a few hundred men in Alamo who had to rise above the Mexican army, and they couldn't defeat it, but they helped us. You know, their little time that they spent, we remember them, we honor them. A few years later, we had our Civil War. We tore each other up, and we had to rise above that, come together. 1941, Pearl Harbor. Almost our entire fleet was wiped out in just a matter of hours, and we had to rise above that. On 2011, we rose above this, and I think about the men and the women. I'm gonna talk a few numbers here. Of the almost 3,000 people that died that day, souls that were lost, there were 1,609 husbands and wives left behind. There were 3,051 children left without a parent. Along with your 400 firefighters, your 60 New York police officers and Port Authority officers. So we remember them to honor them, and we pray for the ones who had to rise above, let their loved ones lost, to rise above that evil and live with that. They're still trying to rise above it, and you have to pray for them. Go ahead, sir. Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? Were you in the yard with your wife and children, working on some stage in LA? Did you stand there in shock at the sight of that black smoke rising against that blue sky? Did you shout out in anger and fear for your neighbor, or did you just sit down and cry? Did you weep for the children who'd lost their dear loved ones, and pray for the ones who don't know? Did you rejoice for the people who walked from the rubble, and sob for the ones left below? Did you burst out with pride for the red, white, and blue, the heroes who died just doing what they do? Did you look up to heaven for some kind of answer? Look at yourself and what really matters. I'm just a singer of simple songs. I'm not a real political man. I watch CNN, but I'm not sure I can tell the difference in Iraq and Iran. But I know Jesus and I talk to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us. Great Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day? Teaching a class full of innocent children, driving down some cold interstate. Did you feel guilty 'cause you're a survivor? In a crowded room, did you feel alone? Did you call up your mother and tell her you loved her? Did you dust off that Bible at home? Did you open your eyes and hope it never happened? Close your eyes and not go to sleep. The sunset the first time in ages, speak to some stranger on the street. Think of tomorrow, go out and buy you a gun. Did you turn off that violent old movie you're watching and turn on I Love Lucy reruns? Did you go to a church and hold hands with some stranger, stand in line and give your own blood? Did you just stay home and cling tight to your family? Thank God you had somebody to love. I'm just a singer of simple songs. I'm not a real political man. I watch CNN, but I'm not sure I can tell you the difference in a rock and a man. But I know Jesus and I talk to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us. Greatest is love. I'm just a singer of simple songs. I'm not a real political man. I watch CNN, but I'm not sure I can tell you the difference in Iraq and Iran. But I know Jesus and I talk to God, and I remember this from when I was young. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us. The greatest is love. The greatest is love. The greatest is love. Where were you when the world stopped turning on that September day?
Like he was about to lose it.